Welcome back to Arma Reforger, and yes, you may well recognise this as the Russian mortar that's just been introduced with update 1.3, and you may well have watched some of my tutorials about using mortars, but I was using the American mortar, and the Russian mortar is slightly different, and especially the tools we use on the map, namely the protractor. Looks a bit different, doesn't it? So I thought it would be worth going through this kind of again, showing you how to use the mortar. Now, the mortar is available to build at HQs that you've captured, as long as you're at least a sergeant, or more usefully, if you've got a construction truck and you've got 400 supplies and you're a sergeant, you can build one of these basically wherever you like, which is incredibly useful. The Russian mortar has a range of 2,300 meters, which is less than the 2,900 of the American mortar, but it's still sort of 2 1/3 of these squares, so you can fire it a long way. And remember, with the mortars, the longer the distance you're firing, the less accurate it will be. So you probably want to be in that 1,000 to 2,000 meter sweet spot, where you're going to be far enough away from the enemies where it's going to be difficult for them to find you, but you still be able to bring in a fairly accurate fire. Now, in order to be accurate with the mortar, the most important thing is knowing exactly where you are and exactly where the enemies are. So what I've done, if we go into Game Master, what I've done is I've placed some enemy vehicles just over the hill down here in San Felipe. So the idea is that these guys are refueling, and we found out a bit about it, so we're going to send a fire mission their way. So let's go back over here. Now, what we need to do is we need to open up the map like so. And if we scroll in, what you can see, that what I've already done is I've placed an icon where we are, and I've placed an icon where the enemies are. To do this, we just double click on the map, and you can say military marker, and you can put down whatever colour you like, and you can just put it down and place a marker. And then what we need to do is we need to draw a line from where we are to where the enemies are. So I'm going to click on the pen icon. I'm going to click where we are, which is there. And I'm going to draw a line through where they are. It's always a good idea to do it through where they are, because when you're trying to target enemies that are closer than you, then the protractor doesn't always work, but if it goes through the enemies, then it will. So let's unclick the line there. Now what we need to do is we bring up the ruler, or the protractor, and you want to have a piece of pen and paper handy. Pen and paper is so important when you're going to be doing mortar work. So what we can do is we can place the ruler right excuse me, straight into the microphone there, I do apologise for that. Place it right over where we are, like that, and then we can zoom out and we can move down, and then we have the degrees around the outside, so we can see that that's 198 there. So we get 198, 199, 200, so it's 201 degrees. So we're going to write that down. Our bearing to target is 201 degrees. Now, what's easier with the Russian protractor is now we can just rotate it. So on mouse and keyboard, we click in our mouse wheel and we can simply rotate it like this. Another good thing is with the Russian protractor or ruler, it goes from 900 to 900. How cool is that? So you can just move it along. What you would have to do is, if it's over the length, you can just draw another line. So what we could do here is, if we know that that's 900, we could bring up the pen tool and we can draw another line like that, and then we turn off the pen tool, go back to the protractor, so we know that's to 900 from where we are, so we then can move that down. We can scroll in, put that over there, so we've got 900, so it's 1,000 meters away, isn't it? So it's 1,000 meters away. So that's our range, 1,000 meters. Now, one thing that I haven't mentioned in other videos, which is very important, is elevation matters as well. And actually, the port is a little bit lower than where we are. So we need to be careful that we may well overshoot. Because imagine the mortar goes up and it goes down. And if we were on a level playing field, the mortar would hit. But if the mortar had to travel further down, it would be travelling further away. so it would move further away and therefore would overshoot the target. Similarly, if we were firing at a target that was above us, imagine the mortar would go up and it would be coming down and it would hit the ground before it would if it was a level ground. So if a target is higher than us, we need to compensate that way. So we need to make it as if the target was further away. But that's getting into quite advanced stuff. Okay, so we're going back here. Now, if we grab a mortar shell out and we press and hold R to have a look at it, you can see we've got the ring system again. So if we want the mortar to go maximum range, 4 rings, it can go up to 2,300 meters. No rings, it can go really close. So let's say we go with 3 rings. So let's just stick with 3 rings like that. And then let's come over here and let's aim this baby. So let's get into here. Let's right click. And we're going to use our arrow keys this time. So we know we need to be an angle of 201. So I've done that at the top. So I'm going left and right on the arrow keys. So 201 degrees, and I go up and down to change the elevation. And if you look on the right hand side, you can see it's giving me the number of mils. Now we know we need to go 1,000 meters. So 1,000 meters is 1226 mils. So let's take this too. So that's 1226 there. So 1226 mils at 201 degrees. Let's come out of this and let's do our fire mission. We haven't got a mortar yet, have we? So let's pick up our mortar. And then I just want to double check we had the right 3 shells. Yeah, that was good. Right, let's exit out of here. Right, we can pick these up. Let's have a quick look. 3 shells. Yep. 3 rings, sorry. So here we go. 1. Oh, no, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to fire it. Let's go. 1. 2. 3. Jump into Games Master. Zoom over here. Let's see how close we get. Remember, you've got about a 30-second travel time for mortars, depending on the elevation. Oh, spog on! Oh, a little bit to the right. Oh, that one was pretty close, wasn't it? Now, okay, so we might not have directly hit the vehicles, but you can imagine if you were in this area, you'd be like, whoa, we need to get out of here pretty damn quick. So that's pretty cool. Now, things that I haven't mentioned in previous videos is also the fact that every time you fire this, what's going to happen is it's going to get moved slightly as well. So the act of the mortar going off is going to change the angle and the elevation. So you need to make sure that you keep going back in and making sure that we've got 1226 mils, for example. Oh, there we go, and we can come out of that. Because the more you fire the mortar without checking that, the more inaccurate it would be. So that's why it's important, well, it's very, very helpful to have at least 2 people working the mortar, preferably 3. Somebody aiming it, someone throwing the shells in, and then somebody near the target or looking at the target through binoculars, adjusting fire, going, yep, a little bit further away, a little bit to the east, a little bit to the west, to adjusting fire that way. So there we go, the Russian mortar. Fantastic piece of kit. Amazing things to play around with in game, especially if you can rank up. You can get one of these bad boys, then go somewhere on the map. And remember, the reason why we've used a piece of paper and pen is the fact that you're going to have favourite places where you want to use mortars, and you're probably going to use them again and again. If, for example, say, you really enjoy lobbing mortars at military base Levy, say down here, and your favourite place to place a mortar is over in these woods over here. As long as you put the mortar in the same place, the bearing and the angle is always going to be the same, so you can quickly get in there, set up and start lobbing shells in to prevent that area, to deny that area to the enemy. So there we go. Hopefully you found this video useful. If you have it, like, comment, press subscribe, and of course I'll see you again soon.